Ashore. Why, Miss Moore, what boy wouldn't relish a holiday in a lighthouse? Especially a light like Tern Rock, way out to sea and all. The keeper of Tern Rock lighthouse tossed his cap on the air and drummed impatiently on the arms of his chair. Martha Morse answered him quietly. I don't doubt that Ronnie would enjoy it, Mr. Flagg, but I don't like the idea of taking him out of school for 2 weeks. He's doing well this fall, and children shouldn't be uprooted just to suit the convenience of their elders. School! Byron Flagg shrugged, showed how little he thought of school, and Miss Morse smiled. You see, she said, it isn't as if Ronnie were my own child. I think I feel even more responsible for him because he's my nephew. Maybe, she continued, you could find someone else. The keeper's face screwed up with disappointment. It's like I told you, Miss Morse. He tried hard to sound persuasive. The superintendent said if I could find me a substitute that knows the light, I could take an extra shore leave and pay him myself. I've gone over everybody in my mind that was ever stationed out there. You're the only one I can reach. You know that light and what it's like out there. You can spell me for a fortnight, same as if you was a man. And with a boy to keep you company, the time will pass mighty fast. Provisions and supplies are all aboard. Everything's batted down, ready for winter. It'll be an easy fortnight for you. He paused and looked across at her with his shrewd old eyes. When he spoke again, his voice was very casual. How long was it you lived on the Rock? He asked. 14 years, Miss Morse told him. My husband was keeper there for 14 years. She rose from her chair and walked over to the window. She stood looking out at the cold, gray-green November afternoon, at the little path that wound between the spruces to the road. Hers was the last house on the edge of the village, and she had chosen it purposely. She had lived 14 years without neighbors, and she was wise enough to know that the threads of village life must be taken up again gradually. Only so she could bear to part with the beauty and isolation of Tern Rock. The fresh birch logs crackled in the shining range, and the smooth, neat kitchen grew darker. The keeper gave her plenty of time. He pursed his lips into a tight line to hide the little grin that was edging its way in. Then he spoke very softly, but as if there had been no interruption. 14 years now. I've only been out there for 5, but I've learned one thing already. You can't live on Tern Rock without its doing something to you. And down inside, right this minute, his voice fell to a whisper, right this minute you're longing to go back. You're wishing you could watch the spray flung back on the ledge. You're wishing you could stand out there against the sea and wall and listen and listen and listen. Miss Morse turned to him quickly, and he laughed out loud at the change in her face. I'm right, ain't I? I can tell you want to go. Oh, come now, and give an old man a good long leave. Let the boy's teacher give him some sums, and you hear his spelling and his reading. He'll be all the wiser for a stay on the old rock. Miss Moore smiled suddenly, and the keeper knew he had won. You're right, Miss Flagg, she said, but what business has a man to know so well how a woman feels about places where she's been happy? You've got wisdom, Mr. Flagg. Maybe it's the wisdom of the serpent, because you certainly tempted me against my better judgment. I do believe I'm homesick for the Rock, even if it is the most lonesome place in the world. I'd like to accommodate you, but I've got to admit, if I go, it's for selfish reasons. She hesitated and then spoke more sharply. But how do you know you'll be able to get us off when your leave's up? You know well as I do that weeks and weeks can go by and not a chance of landing on the Rock. You say you'll come for us by December 15th, but how can you be sure? Oh, there won't be nothing worse than a 3-day blow. Not in December. That wouldn't hold you up long. The woodshed banged suddenly, and there was the sound of running feet. Aunt Marthy, guess what? The kitchen door flew open and Ronnie burst in. We began to practice Christmas carols today. Oh, he stopped when he saw that his aunt had a guest. Martha Moore smiled at him. Shut the door tight, Ronnie. There's a cold wind. We've got company, Mr. Flagg. This is my nephew, Ronnie, son of my husband's brother. Mr. Flagg is keeper of the Tern Rock Lighthouse, Ronnie, where your Uncle Irvin and I used to be. Howdy, Ronnie. How would you like to spend a fortnight on the Rock yourself? Wouldn't that be something now to tell the fellows about? The face of the sturdy small boy lit up, and he gave a long whistle. I'd sure like to see Tern Rock Light, but... He stopped and looked at his aunt. But what, Ronnie? She asked. Go on. Would we be home for Christmas? Ronnie asked. For Christmas? Holy mackerel, yes, and long before, the keeper answered for her. I'm only asking your aunt to go out till the 15th. I'll be back by then, sure. Yes, sir, not a day later than the 15th. I just want to make a little visit to a niece and her family over beyond St. John, and I can't do it on my 5-day leave. You'd like to go, wouldn't you, boy? I'd rather go some other time, not so close to Christmas, Ronnie said honestly. But I would like to go. Are we going, Aunt Marthy? I reckon so, Ronnie, and I know you'll enjoy it. Great, that's settled then, ma'am. The keeper had gained his point, and he wanted to be on his way before she could change her mind. I'll see that the superintendent knows. You and the boy'll go on Thursday, and take over from my relief, Wilbert Denton. He's out there now, and I'll see that you get word when to go down to the shore. Yes, and I'll arrange for someone to give you a hand with your luggage. You'll want all your warm duds. And thank you, Miss Morse, thank you. Mr. Flagg, just a minute. Martha Morse's quiet gray eyes held the reluctant ones, and spoke firmly. You give me your word. You'll come for us on the 15th. Sure, Miss Morse, on the 15th without fail. Course, he added casually, if there's a blow, it'll be a day or two later. But I'll be out for you. And, boy, he turned to Ronnie, you'll think Tern Rock is a little piece of heaven.